We're back up in our broadcast booth, and from here we can see an enormous amount of girls being carried out. The firemen are rushing out, the St. John ambulance, anybody that can carry these girls off the field, and I notice some of them are coming back to life, as you could say, and walking out, but under the assistance of the St. John ambulance. St. John ambulance tonight are working very hard and very fast. I don't know where they're taking them all, but in 10 minutes, if this goes on, the whole stadium will be carried out.
You know, I don't think that some of these teenage girls are emotionally equipped to handle this. You know, they've idolized these fellows for so long, and now, gee, here they are, really in the flesh, and they just can't cope with it. Isn't it this?
It's mass hypnosis, Jack. As soon as they do something, the Beatles, anything, you notice how the reaction is?
In case you don't know, they're doing a thing called Long Tall Sally, and I learned during the press interview tonight that the Beatles are quite fond of a mad fellow named Little Richard, who for a while turned to a rock and roll religion, and now I believe is back firmly as an entertainer, but he had retired for some years. And when I gave the guy, one of the Beatles, I think it was John, rather a weird look for his musical taste, liking Little Richard, he kind of put me down with his thumb, but that's the way it is.
Jack, one thing I noticed, and I'm very proud of this, that during the whole press conference, Jack Cullen was throwing all the questions, and CKNW was mentioned entirely. You notice that?
Maybe we're lucky tonight. But I noticed there's now 2 limousines, and I still feel that the Beatles and the engines are running, the lights are on. I feel that when the Beatles leave that stage, they'll not be going to the dressing room. They will be whisked out of here, and as we gathered from our press conference with them earlier tonight, they'll be going right back to the airport and out of town as quick as they can, and apparently not to Seattle. I believe they said to California, did they not?
Right, yeah, they're going right back to California. But the funny bit about all these cars pulling in, wouldn't it be a funny thing if the St. John ambulance boys got in and drove off?
By the way, folks, this riot tonight is presented, we drummed it up especially for Kit's camera. Norm had Kit's cameras. He wanted to get some exciting pictures, and believe me, he's getting it. We're glad you all came.
That's right, and you notice a lot of the people are moving now. I think they're trying to avoid the crowd. They know this is the wrap-up, but they're still passing out, and they're being carried out right now.
But the only rowdyism you will see is not from those in the bleachers in the stands. It's those that are actually seated on the grass out there. Yeah, on the field.
I'm dying to see what happens when they finally leave. The whole thing's just going to break up. Isn't it?
Can they get off the stage? I see on the track here there's a couple of fellows trying to break the 440 mark.
Yeah, they're coming around. I don't know. You notice they ran around the track instead of across the grass. They must be football players.
And there's still a tremendous
They're leaving the stage.
Are they leaving now? They're attempting to leave. That may be a one-time bout. They're not walking off. They're running off. They're running, going to the cars, running behind the stage, and I believe, from what we can see, they're behind the stage right now.
No, they're getting into the car.
Are they getting into the car? Motorcycle escort already? Boy, that's what I call quick.
FM.
To the FM, okay. Go.
You never saw such a fast thing in your life. The Beatles finished their number, ran straight across the grass to where everybody else in their party was already in the police escort with 15 motorcycles and 4 Cadillacs, and very quick and slick exit indeed, which has avoided any trouble. Somebody at least deserves congratulations. There never was a better escape even during the war than that particular anticlimax. They finished their last number, they dropped their instruments, they ran down the back stairs, the cars were here with their engines running, they went straight into the cars and off. And you know, it's quite a thankful feeling of relief, because at one stage there, it looked as if they were going to overwhelm the stage. And now that the Beatles have departed, and everybody knows they've departed, all that remains now is for the first aid to must be close on now, by now, 50 or 60 casualties. So the worst fears didn't come to pass at all because of the incredible slip-out by the 4 Beatles, who ran full speed to the waiting Cadillac with everyone else sitting there looking grim and tense, and left. Now the 16,000 youngsters will make their happy way home, having seen and admired their heroes, the Beatles. Eh, Barry boy?
I agree, Jack. I once heard that you have 3 seconds to surprise anybody and make a getaway. I don't think it could have been more than
The Beatles could be bank robbers the way they slipped that one on. That was a beautiful exit. They're still carrying bodies out. We don't anticipate any more trouble at all, though. Maybe it's just beginning to break through to the crowd now that the Beatles have gone. Boy, that was a quick ending. No hostility, it seems, that accepting the fact the Beatles have gone, and a few jelly beans came towards one of the policemen there, and Barry McMaster and Jack Webster will also soon be gone. If my daughter's listening to a transistor, I'll meet you in the car park, Jenny. Right.
And that was about the slickest. That was about the slickest getaway scene. It broke every etiquette of show business. I think they took one quick, curt bow, and they bolted. Absolutely bolted off that stage. Not a second. I mean, the fans were stunned, I'm sure. And before you knew it, they were into the limousine and drove right out. So we had it pitched pretty well. But it's clever. It had to be that way. Because if they'd lingered in dressing rooms or even stayed in the grounds for any more than 5 minutes, trouble would have ensued, I'm quite sure. I noticed that a lot of the fans, as soon as they saw they were leaving, rushed out of the stadium, over to the right here, that is, and onto Hastings Street so they could at least wave them out of town. And that verifies, too, the fact that they are at the Hollywood Bowl tomorrow in Hollywood. They'll be flying out immediately, and I imagine they'll get a couple of winks of sleep on the plane on the way down.
Right, and I hope all the girls that were carried off are in better shape right now, and we've always said that our police department was a good police department. They proved it tonight, Jack. That's it from Empire Stadium.
It's been a blow-by-blow fight, and it was described by 4 of us, and we don't know quite what we've learned here tonight, except that music is here to stay, and not too much did we hear around here tonight.
Yeah, and Bruce will put in music till after news. That'll give us a chance to get down onto the P&E grounds. We'll pick you up from there, courtesy of Kit's camera, right up till 10 o'clock. Okay.